Hello, my name is Bea Cupin and you are watching Rappler. I am at the Quirino Grandstand, but earlier we were at the Philippine Coast Guard headquarters here in Manila for the visit of Japanese Prime Minister Fumio. Kishida is in Manila from November 3 to November 4 for an official visit, the first of two stops in Southeast Asia. Now, he arrived on November 3 at around 2:30 in the afternoon. The highlight of his first day in the Philippines was a visit to Malacañang Palace where he held a bilateral meeting. Before that, a one-on-one meeting with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Now, before that, he was greeted, of course, with arrival honors, and after that, Marcos hosted a banquet in his honor. Now, for at least four deals, or at least the two leaders of the two countries, rather, witnessed the signing of four deals, first of which is a Japanese yen 600 million official security assistance grant aid that will be used to acquire a coastal radar system for the Philippine Navy. Yung worth nito nasa 235.5 million pesos. Yung Philippines, yung unang recipient ng bagong-bago ito, actually yung official security assistance from Japan previously, and of course the Philippines currently to this day is the recipient of ODA, official development aid from Japan. Aside from that, they witnessed the signing of agreements concerning the construction of disaster response systems for the Bangsamoro region. There were also agreements on tourism and mining in the Philippines. Now, yung visit ni Kishida dito sa Manila, isa lang yung pinaka-overarching theme, yung security. When we talk about security, we also talk about economic issues and defense issues. Now, for the economy, nag-affirm si Kishida during his visit here of Japan's support for the Build Better More program, BBM yung acronym nun. Yun, kumbaga yun yung flagship infrastructure program ng Marcos administration. He also, again, through the agreement signed that Marcos and Kishida witnessed yung disaster quick response that will benefit the Bangsamoro administrative region of Muslim Mindanao. Kishida also affirmed Japan's commitment to the peace process in Muslim Mindanao. But let's focus on defense and security kasi or defense in the context of regional security and Philippine security, because clearly that is something that people will focus on. For context, Japan is a crucial counterpoint in the region amid China's growing aggressiveness in the South China Sea and other crucial waterways in the region. Japan has been slowly and rapidly, in some cases, stepping away from its previously pacifist stance when it comes to defense in response, majorly, to the changing geopolitical dynamics in the region. It has also stepped up its defense spending a few years back. It promised to increase its spending on defense that also covers yung OSA to other countries. Now, yung PCG, kaya andito si Kishida, is one of the recipients of Japan's assistance and aid in stepping up the Philippines' defense capabilities, specifically when it comes to maritime defense and maritime security. Yung binisita niyang barko, or the vessel that he toured while he visited the PCG headquarters, is the BRP Teresa Magbanua. It is among the PCG's newest and biggest ships, 97 meters long siya, and it's made in Japan, financed through JICA, through an aid loan from Tokyo, rather. Prior to Kishida's visit to the PCG headquarters, pumunta din dito yung Japan Coast Guard Commandant si Shohei Ishii, who met with the PCG's commandant, si Admiral Gavan. So, if you think about it, what does this visit mean? It's a clear message that maritime defense, maritime security, Japan helping the Philippines improve its maritime defense is a priority of Tokyo. Aside from the coastal radar system na binanggit nga natin kanina, yung pinag-usapan ni Kishida at ni Marcos yung common goal ng dalawang bansa, which is regional peace and stability. Kishida, during his toast sa banquet in Malacañang, mentioned yung importance, or rather, he mentioned that ties between Tokyo and Manila are in their golden age. And that's an interesting metaphor to use. And before that, The two leaders, during their bilateral meeting, agreed that unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force should not be tolerated. And at the same time, they expressed serious concern on the situation in the East and South China Sea. They did not mention Japan, they did not mention China rather, but understood na rin dun, especially in the context of just a few weeks back on October 22, uh, Chinese and Philippine vessels collided in the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea during a routine resupply mission of the Philippine Coast Guard, or assisted by the Philippine Coast Guard, to the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin Shoal. So, yung isang China Coast Guard vessel collided with an AFP contracted boat. Meanwhile, Chinese maritime militia boat collided with the PCG's BRP Cabra, incidentally a boat that was also financed through aid from Japan. In the aftermath of that incident, Japan's foreign ministry also issued a statement expressing concern over unilateral attempts. So, consistent sila sa messaging na yun, kung baga. Isa sa mga things that the Philippines and Japan agreed upon, although wala pang napipirma at this point, is the start of discussions on a reciprocal access agreement deal between Tokyo and Manila. So ano ba to? People have described it as VFA-like. Visiting First Agreement, of course, is the agreement between the US and the Philippines. What does this mean? Ibig sabihin, kung mag-agree na ang Manila at Tokyo, ay pwede nang mag-deploy ng tropa galing Japan for possible joint exercises in Manila, and vice versa. Pwede rin tayo magpadala ng tropa doon for joint exercises. Now, although initial negotiations pa lang to, baka malayo-layo pa from an actual deal signed, it has to be noted that we are the first Asian country that Japan is eyeing for this deal. Currently, yung merong RAA, Reciprocal Access Agreement lang, Japan ay ano pa lang, UK at Australia. So it's also it's an indication of Japan's priorities in the region, no? So siguro yung bigger question nito at bigger picture nito, what does this all mean at bakit ba may pakialam ang Japan sa defense, sa security ng Pilipinas? Well, yung easy answer dito is regional security. A country's security, a country's defense does not exist in a vacuum. Kailangan yung greater region, so the Indo-Pacific, sa Southeast Asia, the greater East Asia and Southeast Asia, importante to make sure that the defense of each country is secure, but also it's important to make sure that yung waterways that divide these countries is safe. If you think about the South China Sea, it is a major trading route. Trillions in dollars of trade pass through that crucial waterway yearly. And of course, countries in the region would want to keep that open and safe and secure nang di maapektuhan ang trade. And if you zoom out even further, you have to think about the ongoing war of Russia against Ukraine and the growing tensions in the Middle East, with Israel still launching attacks on Gaza. May concerns the violence and the war would spill over to other countries, no? So if you think about that and you think about the Indo-Pacific, you want to make sure that tensions do not flare up in the region because of the tensions in other parts of the world. This is also Japan stepping up its role in the region, and the Philippines also upping its commitment and its decision to assert itself in the South China Sea, to assert its claims, to assert its rights in the South China Sea. Now, amid China's aggression, specifically tuwing may resupply mission to Sierra Madre, recently din yung China Navy naman, parang they keep releasing statements admonishing the Philippines for supposedly trespassing into areas in the South China Sea na contested naman or kiniklaim din ng Pilipinas. China wants the Philippines to step back in its assertions, but also in its stepping up of ties with countries, perhaps like the United States. Recently, or last year rather, the Philippines announced na more bases would be open to EDCA with the United States. But Manila is not responding to this call, perhaps in the way that China would want it to. On the flip side, it is pushing forward with ties with traditional partners, thinking about the US, thinking about Japan, But at the same time, it's looking for other partners or emerging partners, kumbaga. Top of mind, you have the Philippines signing a deal with Canada for access sa dark vessel detection system ng Canada, meaning makakatrack na tayo or mag-i-improve yung ability ng Philippines to track vessels in its waters. So those are the things that we're looking at, and it's basically why Kishida's visit to Manila matters a lot. We will be looking at, or we will be following updates kung paano mag-progress yung mga discussions na to. Also to note pala, Japan has already started, or Japan through JICA has started discussions so that the PCG can acquire 5 more vessels similar to the Teresa Magbanua. The PCG says this would vastly improve its ability to patrol waters, not just the South China Sea, but yung ibang areas within the Philippines territorial waters. Now, after this, again, Kishida heads to Malaysia for a visit there. And then in December, Tokyo actually placed host to the commemorative ASEAN-Japan summit there. Again, that's in December. That's been so far what has happened in Kishida's visit here in Manila. Meron din siyang visit doon sa Valenzuela. Doon naman for a subway project that is funded by JICA. He also addressed the Philippine Congress in a special joint session. We also have other reports regarding his other activities in Manila. But for me, here at the Quirino Grandstand, yun muna so far. Again, this has been Bea Cupin. You have been watching Rappler. Thank you so much.